Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. Welcome to the digitally uploaded podcast, the companion podcast at digitallydownloaded.net. My name's Alan. I'm your host today on this wonderful Saturday morning. And with me, I've got Matt. Hello, Matt.
Hello.
And we've also got Harvard.
Hello.
And Trent.
Hello.
Hello, everyone. All right.
It's our last podcast.
It is our last podcast. I wasn't going to mention it because I was
Not
going to
forever.
get sentimental. I'm going to start crying now.
Just for the year.
Your fault. Yeah, so it is the last podcast for the year because we've done a whole year of this nonsense. If you haven't been listening to it, I don't know why, because I'm here.
I have some confidence, Alan. This is great.
Yeah. So yeah, it's the end of an era of 2018, which is exciting because I want it to be over. So moving on to some news. This isn't really particularly fun news to hear, but a streamer was convicted recently in Australia of beating his wife on stream.
Convicted?
Yes, I believe so. Oh, he's on warning on gaming disorder after fortnight charge. So he's been charged. He's not convicted yet, but like
I was going to say that's a very quick process.
you know what? I'm convicting him right now. I'm getting a law degree. We're calling in Ginny.
Okay.
Yeah, so this idiot. I'm not going to say who he is, but honestly, like a heated gaming moment is not an excuse.
We all know who he is. He's a gamer.
Oh yeah, he's an elite gamer. No, he's cursed. That boy needs to be thrown into jail and have the key locked away. So yeah, I've got nothing else really to say. It sucks. It's really sad, but you know,
It's bad news.
yeah, at least he's not going to be able to do that anymore, which is nice.
Good. And hopefully he never could play games again. That would be good.
Yes, but
They should have that in the law. Like, violent people should not be allowed to buy violent games.
Or just games in general.
Exist.
Or, yeah, do anything.
I'm
Yeah.
supporting the death penalty. I'm not. Just
I
want to
went
clarify
really
that.
dark really fast.
I was going to say that was a joke.
We don't have that here in Australia. Just clarifying.
We don't.
Yeah.
Which is good.
Can I segue into my thing?
Yeah.
Yeah, so we're talking about, want to be more about the non-violence. So I got my eye on this early access game coming out next year called Miasma Caves, and it's billing itself as a pacifist roguelike. So it's randomly generated, there's probably permadeath, but you're not fighting monsters and killing things. You're going through caves and exploring and mining and appraising stuff and trying to find treasure, which is, to me, that's cool because I like the idea of random generation, but every single roguelike you can find is about, killing more and more monsters and getting more and more buff to kill more and more buff monsters. So I'm excited they're taking it in a new direction. Just a caveat is that it's very early access right at the moment, so it doesn't look super polished, but the ideas are great. It's by a developer called Windy Games called Miasma Caves.
Speaking of non-violent games, did you see the non-violent Western that was announced this week?
Oh, I did. Yeah, that looks beautiful.
Yeah. It's like Red
What's it
Dead,
called?
but without guns.
So it's a
Which is
Switch
good.
version of Ark.
What?
The version of Ark is on the Switch is really like toned down. It's like a 64 game. So you said it's like Red Dead without graphics. So I'm like, it's a Switch version of
I
I
like
said
Red Dead without guns.
Dead without guns.
without guns.
So yeah, that looked pretty good. It's a good week for non-violence. Yeah,
Except for
Well,
Smash. I hate
I-
Smash.
Smash. And the violence that Smash makes want Alan to do to people.
Makes one Alan to do to people.
That's right.
Amazing.
Nice.
My news. I've got a bit of news from Zen Studios, the team who make all the pinball games.
I think you're gonna go into I got a lovely bunch of coconuts. I thought that was where you were taking that. You should have done it.
It was tempting.
You should have.
Yeah, Zen Studios has announced a new dungeon crawler, which they're working on. It's a homage to wizardry and Might and Magic and all that good stuff. And it looks really good. Zen Studios always makes very pretty games, and they play well, usually, almost always. So, yeah, I'm really looking forward to that as a big fan of wizardry and the other good stuff from back in the day. More Dungeon Crawler is good. I don't know if anybody else here likes them, but I
I
do.
only ever played Heroes of Might and Magic. I never actually played Might and Magic, so
Oh, okay.
yeah,
Very different.
yeah. It seems-
Heroes is great. I love
Heroes
Heroes.
is it's a fun game,
Yeah.
except for like the seventh one, which was horrible. Or six, I can't remember which one.
They haven't made a good new one for quite a while.
Yeah,
Um,
I remember that four was
they
pretty
were
good.
great back in the day.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
Might and Magic is, it's a Dungeon Crawler instead. And they've been really good. They had one come out, 3 or 4 years ago now, Might and Magic X,
Hmm.
and it was really good. And yeah, if Zen Studios can capture even a little bit of that, I'm all in.
Cool. Alrighty. Well, with that, shall we head to some music?
What about Trent's?
Oh,
Yeah, what
I
about
forgot
my
Trent.
news?
You
I know,
completely forgot about Trent.
Oh,
I know I just skimmed the the catch-up news article and like picked something, but come on, my news is equally important. It's the Danganronpa's getting a trilogy box, but it's on the PlayStation. Why isn't it on like another console like the Switch? There should be a Switch version of Danganronpa. That's my 2 cents.
Oh,
Yeah, I was really disappointed by that because I saw the news release come through to my email where they said Danganronpa in the header, and I was really excited because I assumed that it meant a Switch port because that was basically the only console that Danganronpa is not on. But no, unfortunately, it's just a re-release on a console that's already got them. But still, if you haven't played them, you should.
and try to avoid the spoilers. I
And
know it's really hard this day and age.
Monokuma for Smash,
Monokuma for Smash.
that would be good.
just a blow of slime to smash.
Alan, I've never seen anybody sour in a game as quickly as you. on
No, Smash is good. It's just that it's made by people who don't know how to make games in an online age, and it frustrates me. Like, imagine No, I'm not going to go into this. no, I'm not going to do it. We're going to talk about this later.
Section of the podcast
Yeah.
is just Alan ranting about Smash.
No,
We
it's
were on
happening.
Smash Bros last week.
Yes, but shut up. We're doing it again.
We'll just duck out and just let Alan have his space.
Yeah, I need to have this. Alrighty, well, with that, we're going to have music so I can prepare my breath. And welcome back from that. We've got a bit of a different sort of setup this week. So because it's the end of the year, which is fantastic, we're going to go through some of the worst, the most meh, and the best stuff that's happened this year. I'm going to start off with saying that Smash Ultimate's launch is atrocious, is bad. So if
You're such an angry boy, Alan.
I am, because it's like, imagine releasing a game that just doesn't work. It's like they released an early access title and expected us to be like, yeah, it's fine. Like, okay, so I don't think I tweeted about this as much as I should have, but I needed to. That game does not run online, and I paid $30 for a service that is held together with glue and duct tape. And it's just, I can't believe that they've actually released the game in the state where it's basically a slideshow. Like,
I thought we paid $30 for the NES games, and the online was just
no, that's incorrect. I would pay like a cent for those. Man,
That's an amazing take, Trent. Please tweet that everywhere. We paid $30 for NS games, and the online is just a fringe package.
no, it's dumb.
That's
There's no
that
way
line in the story.
I will get the value of $30 from playing 2 minutes of Balloon Fight. That's not how that works.
Balloon fight to Smash.
No, Balloon Fight should be banned from society.
Alan, do you think it's an Australia issue, or do you think it's just
No,
the
it's
entire
not.
list of everywhere is bad?
Everyone that I've heard is playing it, and they're always like, "Yeah, it's a slideshow."
Is it because there's too many people on it, or
That's not an excuse. They knew it would be big. It's sold like over 1 million copies in Japan in like 3 days.
It's
Like
like
this-
my university every year when they release course schedules and they say we didn't expect this many people to be online at the same time, but they knew how many enrollments they have, so of course they knew that.
it's a very
Same problem.
educational tangent, but yes, I
They must have got Nintech to do the online, because like Pokemon Go crashes every time there's like a community day.
no. So they must have gotten someone who has no skill with programming, no skill with anything involving the online services to just be like, yeah, I'm gonna make it online, and then they hit like a small button, and the button just lights up and says, "You've made it online," and then
So
it
here's the thing.
throws
I
up.
mean, they probably knew that it would be popular, so they probably also expected that the experience would be pretty dodge for the first couple of months, because the way these things work, you never allocate resources for an absolute peak, because that would be too expensive, which is no good for anybody trying to play Smash at the moment.
Oh, I'm really glad that I am. I'm really glad.
But over the next couple of weeks, it'll probably get better. I mean, it should get better.
I'm glad that it's on
and
the
at some
Switch. You
point,
can get
it'll
updates.
it'll be quite workable. I mean, I think Mario Kart was the same when it launched on the Switch.
That's not an excuse.
Yeah,
It's
most
just
games
because-
nowadays have like break the servers days a week or two before launch, just to make sure it doesn't happen.
Yeah, it's almost like that's what every other company that has an online game does, except for Nintendo, because they're stuck in 2007.
Oh no, I don't know about that, Alan. I remember even Overwatch on launch. Was
No,
pretty dodgy.
Overwatch went pretty well on Overwatch went pretty well on launch, from what I remember.
Then maybe I got unlucky with my internet connection that day because it was.
Keeping in mind,
dodgy
I was
for me.
also like on Melbourne University internet. Like,
So yeah, I mean, I don't think Nintendo would have allocated resources for 1.23 million people playing online at once or whatever. They probably allocated resources for like 70% or whatever, knowing that it's actually very expensive to unallocate resources. So they probably aim to get the servers at a point that'll be good for a couple of weeks down the track. So I guess what I'm saying is just chill.
you're an apologist.
Alan. Chill. It's going to get better.
No.
That $30 subscription fee that you paid, it's going to come good eventually.
Oh yeah, so I can play
Yeah.
Metroid, the original.
No, there's been what came out this month?
Wario's Wood came out this week, Al.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, so Warriors Woods is out, and
I don't know what Wario's would. Anyway, other bad news. State of Decay 2 came out this year, and everyone forgot about it, and it was really funny to watch that just fall apart.
Hmm.
Yeah, that game
That
came
was
out.
Xbox, though, wasn't it?
It was Xbox.
Well, that explains it. No one cares.
See, bro,
about it.
I'm kind of a State of Decay kind of person. I like the original. I thought it was a bit junky, but I feel like 2 was just more the same. It didn't really improve upon it really that well. It was really the same game as one, and one was like the core concept was like great, but it really needed a lot of work. But two was just like, yeah, we've done everything the same again, but with a few slight changes. Like, no, it's not good yet.
Mm.
Mm.
Yeah, that game came out and everyone forgot about it, and it received horribly middling reviews. Which is, it's sad. I know I'm going to mock it because it's a zombie game in 2018, but like, yeah, it's sad.
Well, it wasn't the only one from Microsoft. Sea of Thieves
I was going to say Sea of Thieves, the most
Oh,
exciting
yeah.
experience of all time.
Forgot that was a
came
thing.
and went flat pretty quick.
Came and sneezed and then left.
That's sad. It actually, the concept was so good.
It was a good concept. It was just not made by people who should be making games.
The other pirate game. There's Sea of Thieves and there was another pirate game as well. Was that or did that?
No, that's the Ubisoft game. It's like the combat from Assassin's Creed.
Oh, Skull and Bones.
Yeah, Skull and Bones.
That's
Yeah,
coming.
that
That's
even
not out yet.
That's not out yet. Oh,
Looks good.
It looks good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Looking forward to that one.
And also this year, Detroit Become Human came out. Terrible game. I know that. You know what? If you think you like it, you're wrong. Like, you're just straight up wrong. You've been conned into a relationship with David Cage.
Full disclosure, David Cage did something to Alan when
Yeah, he
when he was younger and made Alan
he made
hate him.
Fahrenheit.
Alan feels like he's going through like a dot point list of every single thing which has offended him this week.
Yes, that's literally what I'm doing. It's exactly what I'm doing.
Oh well, if we're doing that, can I talk about Ghost of Tsushima?
No, it's not out yet, Matt.
Yeah, next
Yeah,
year,
but
Matt.
I'm not happy.
You got 12
about it.
months to this.
Matt,
I'm
we'll
not happy
give
about
you a
it at all.
year. We'll let you talk about it next year. So we know
No,
what.
I'm talking about it now.
No.
I'm putting my foot down. I'm not happy about Ghost of Tsushima.
Okay.
That was my biggest disappointment for the year.
It's really not. It's not surprising at all if you followed Matt on Twitter at all.
Wasn't your name at some point on Twitter Ghost of Tsushima is gonna be the worst or something?
No, that wasn't me.
It does sound like you though.
It does, but
It's
that
believable.
wasn't me.
I thought Matt's worst thing of this year would be Smash Bros because he gave it a 0 out of 5.
I just didn't have Miku in it.
Yeah.
No, I gave it a good score. I gave it a score that even it's too high for Alan.
Yeah.
Um,
3 out of 10.
Yeah, Ghost of Tsushima. The Sony did the big first kind of gameplay reveal this year of that game, and I wanted to look forward to that game. I was always a little bit concerned because it's a game about Japan that white people are making, but the reality seems to be much worse than I even expected. So, very unhappy about that one. And more generally speaking, I'm not happy with Sony for this year.
Sony's attitude this year has been really strange.
But they've
Yeah,
also
it's
made
really
like some of the
bad.
best games.
But it's not
No, they-
unexpected. Like, it's the end of a generation. Like, Sony gets arrogant every time they're on top. Like, Sony is great as a bottom, but when Sony's on top, it just goes to shit. And we've let Sony be on top for way too long, and now the industry is broken. And Sony's arrogant, and we need to make Nintendo great again.
But it'll happen with Nintendo as well.
Yeah,
Anytime
with
when they're at
They're
the
all
top,
in their own unique ways.
and Microsoft as well. Whenever they're at the top, they can afford to be a little bit arrogant, I guess. They're not chasing anymore. So
We sound like such disappointed parents. Like, oh no,
So-
Nintendo's gonna misbehave again. No, Sony's gone off and like done this thing again.
We'll take that
So,
toys away
for
and put
me-
them in the corner.
More like Nintendo.
for me, the issues with Sony is first they've stopped doing the creative stuff they did before, or in a big way. All their stuff is kind of starting to meld together and be the same experience over and over again, repeated just with different settings and characters and whatever. But the core of those games have really become quite homogenized, and what's coming ahead for Sony over the next year is not impressing me either. I mean, Days
Gone.
Ghost of Tsushima.
We both knew exactly what was. Yeah. Okay. Cool.
There's just nothing. So, and Sony's even pulled out of E3 next year. So,
Because they don't need to be there. They're announcing the PS5 probably the end of next year. So like,
yeah, that's the thing.
And then
They're
they're
probably
going
building
out
towards the
all games from
PS5,
that once.
but I mean, what's coming with the PS5? NAC 3?
oh yeah, neck baby.
NAC's back.
Yeah, look,
Yeah,
I'm personally really excited to see the return of Knack.
I'm just really happy that the Switch is doing well because otherwise I'll be pretty down on games at the moment.
Stardew Valley is on Switch. Buy it. We're gonna talk about that in the good parts. Does anyone else have like a bad thing before we move on?
What my bad thing for the year is Bloons Tower Defense on the Switch.
Literally,
It's a
you are
terrible
online
game.
with
I
that
played
game all
50
the
hours of
time.
it.
I don't understand you.
It's just a Skinner box. Like I get very hooked on those things. If someone tells me I did a good job, I'll keep doing it. Even if the good job is in this case
Someone
literally
tells
nothing.
me that I'm doing a good job, I'll keep doing it. Okay. Well, that's a really reassuring thing to hear.
Maybe that's more of a bad thing on my part than the game's part here.
I was going to
Like
say
the
how
game's
you
bad.
probably should be pretty depressed that you spent about 400 hours playing a game that you gave 0.5 out of 5 to.
Okay. It's 50 hours, not 400 hours.
But still, 50 hours in a game you
I
hate
feel
that
like
much is pretty impressive.
gives you at least a star. Oh my god.
This
Okay.
is like me keep playing that really horrible demo for that Crocs World platformer on the Switch, which is a obvious mobile port and plays like one, but is really horrible and just
I've
Yeah,
actually played
so
that demo
good.
through twice as well, Trent.
Why'd you play it through twice?
Because I don't know. I did.
Oh, okay. That's a valid reason.
It's pretty bad.
It doesn't look good. It's any
You should play it,
consolation.
Alan. The demo's free.
So is cholera, but I'm not going to get cholera, am I? And with that, shall we go to some music? Let's pick
Let's
some
get
music from a bad
music
game.
from
With Smash
Bloons.
Ultimate.
Bloons.
All right, we'll go Bloons.
Does Bloons even have music?
We're
No.
about to find out.
Just play 3 minutes of like a balloon popping sound over and over again. I'm sure the listeners will love it.
No, I won't even balloon in 3 minutes. I'll just do one balloon popping sound. You're laughing, but I'm going to do it now. And welcome back. We're going to talk about the mediocre things that happened this year. This is my song about how much I did and like Detroit. So yeah, there's a couple of games that came out this year that were aggressively meh.
God of War.
Excuse me, I'm going to kick Matt.
Red Dead Redemption 2.
You know,
No, I'm
Yakuza
sorry.
was a better daddy
Spider-Man.
game. God of War should have not been up for contender for Game of the Year, just on that principle.
I'm actually really mad about this right now, but I'm going to digress for a second. Detroit Become Human, Detroit Two Souls, whatever the hell it's called. Bad game. Aggressively mediocre game. If you've played it, the only good part about it is Brian DeChant, who plays what's his name? Main bloke,
Bill.
police cop.
Police cop.
Yeah, what's his name?
I don't know.
It's police cop man, main dude.
I've
gonna
got a
call him
copy
Brian
here
DeChant.
sitting here that I haven't played yet.
It's a really good sign. Yeah, the game is okay. It's probably the least stupid David Cage game, but it's also probably like the most offensive in terms of actually just being written by someone who doesn't understand how to write metaphor. Because the androids sit at the back of the bus.
Oh.
Don't you understand? It's
Alright,
really
alright.
deep. It's a bad game,
Well,
but like again, it's
we'll
also
get you some help for your David Cage. Thing.
it's also like his best work, which is upsetting.
We'll get you some help.
Is there a scene where like an android like stays at the front of the bus and then like get kicked off the bus?
Yes, absolutely.
Oh no, you can't do that.
Yeah.
Well, like it's not as full on as you think it is, but it's pretty dumb. And it's very clearly written by someone who has no understanding of social climates because he doesn't leave his house. He just looks at pictures of Ellen Page every day. Like, that's literally his MO at this point. Yeah, that game's okay. I don't know. Pick it up if you want to laugh.
So far, 2 from 2. Alan's talked about David Cage. In
Look,
both the bad and the mediocre.
no, it's fine.
So it'll be in the good as well.
No, it's absolutely not.
Hey, that's
Actually,
actually
I'll find a way to worm it in there because it's quite fun to play those games when you're drinking because nothing makes sense. And when you start just getting angry about it, it's very enjoyable. They're bad games. Don't play them. Don't support his nonsense. But Detroit's okay.
You sound very confused right now.
I'm incredibly confused because on the one hand it's awful, but on the other hand it's awfully bad.
Save Alan from his torment.
Yeah, save
I
me.
think that fits in the mech category really well. It's like so bad, but somehow enjoyable.
Yeah. I guess another thing that I would like to mention is I'm very conflicted on this game. It's called Lost in Vivo. I was talking about it quite a while ago, but
Did you
it's
just say Lost in Beaver?
yeah, Lost in Vivo. You just play baby over and over again for like the next 20 years. No, it's called Lost in Vivo. It's a horror game made by the guy who made Spooky's House of Jump Scares.
Right.
And the first, I want to say 75% of that game is so good. And then the last 25% is just a trash fire. And it makes me very upset. So it gets a meh from me. Yeah, it's a fun game. It's like also $7 on Steam. So you can buy it pretty cheap. But it's really cool. It's cool. Just don't finish it. Don't waste your time finishing it. Just get up to the part in the mines and then you can leave. It's good. Yeah. Anyone else have a meh?
This has
PlayStation Classic.
PlayStation, no. Oh.
PlayStation flaccid.
Or
Yeah.
mini consoles in general. But mostly this year, the PlayStation Classic.
Yeah, I feel bad. I've never touched my SNES after like half an hour of playing it for the first time.
It's almost like those games don't hold up super well in a modern context.
That's
Anyway,
why you buy them on a console,
Final
which is a
Fantasy
modern console, which
6.
gets constant updates.
oh, 6 is totally gonna last because it's actually a well-written game.
Well,
But
there you go. There's like 20 hours just there.
No, but the worst is like if I had it on Switch, I would play it. But I have it on this mini console that I've got to plug in and turn on, and I just don't play it.
you have to turn on the console to play it. What a
Yeah,
shock.
like how dare they do that, right? How dare they put an on switch onto it?
Honestly, David Cage should write a game about that.
Well, I mean, the Switch could have a Super NES library. So
It's
annoys
almost
me
like it
that it
absolutely could, and it has got an NES library, which is basically the same thing.
It's like so great. Like you just click on it and it's like, damn, there's a game up. Like the loading times are so.
Yeah, it's a game that I don't ever want to play ever again on my screen.
the NES library on the Switch doesn't have Final Fantasy, so that's annoying.
It doesn't have anything of
The
value to it.
originals, though. The originals are really bad.
But yeah, mini consoles. I don't know. I think
It's just a convincing argument, Matt.
look, on the one
It's
hand,
very
I like
bad
them
argument.
because I'm a fan of the Super NES and I love the PlayStation, the original PlayStation, and a lot of the games on it. And from a purely nostalgia point of view, I wanted those consoles as soon as they were kind of announced. But every single time they underdo what they could do with them. Like, why are
They
these
limit their
consoles
own
offline
ability.
and you can't download additional games? You know,
They're basically like those what do you call it? The Atari flashbacks, but like officially licensed.
yeah,
Yeah.
kind of. But again, it would be so easy for the Super NES or the PlayStation Classic to have an online store for additional games that you can jump on and download, and then it'd be like having a full library rather than having it locked into whatever they've stuck on there. And there's so many games that these consoles keep missing, and it's just disappointing.
Yeah, it sucks.
So
I mean,
that's the very definition of a meh. I like the consoles because I like the originals, but they should have been more.
See, this is why the $30 service on the Nintendo Switch for awesome NES games is
my God.
working so well.
That's the ultimate meh.
because it is getting constantly updated. You can buy the controllers if you really want to play.
Yeah,
with
you can pay
classic
another
controllors.
$70,000 to buy
Yes,
controllers that
but
don't work as well as the actual
controllers-
controllers.
Controllers and are still cheaper than what 2 controllers and a classic NES would be.
But it's
Like-
a NES, Trent. It's like the oldest console
Yeah,
of them all.
See, I don't want to be illegal here, but there is a thing called the internet.
And I mean, that service would have been better if there was one NES, one Super NES, one Game Boy game released each month.
Or if they just
3
released
NES
an
games.
N64 game and had that happen,
Or an
because they can do
N64
that.
game, or even a GameCube game.
They
Yeah,
could
they
do
should
if it was
stop
like-
doing GameCube.
If it was a
It's pretty
proper
new.
virtual library of all in the Nintendo's history,
Just think of it as
then
a
it'd be
proof of
worthwhile.
concept. You were like
Keep-
getting
keep
up
me in
Alan for
darkness.
like saying that Smash Bros. Online shit.
Yes.
It's like a proof of concept
It's-
for
I'm
the
paying
3 weeks away.
$30. I'm paying $30 for a proof of concept. That's not okay. That is beyond a meh. That is trash fire. Okay, Nintendo is my meh for the year. Making things cheaper, make it not as stupid.
It is cheaper. It's cheaper than every other service because you're
But
only paying
it has
like
aggressively less value, though.
It really does, Trent. I mean, PlayStation Plus is
I got Yakuza
it's got its
Kiwami.
issues, but they're giving you a game, like a
And
new
Onrush.
game every year, every month.
We're going to talk
Yeah.
about Onrush and the
You know
good.
what's also great? Wait, this is a bad segment. But
No,
everyone
that's
else probably is like, met anyway to it because it's on Xbox. Game Pass. Game Pass is great.
We can talk about the next section.
Yeah.
We're talking about good stuff then.
Yeah. I don't actually know what Game Pass is.
All right, should we just move on to the good section then?
Yeah, let's just move on to the good
Let's
stuff.
go to
Alright,
a
Let's
good
play,
place.
We're going to play some
play
music.
some music from Legend of Zelda on the NES.
And welcome back. This is the good part. We're going to talk about the good things. So I'm going to talk about Red Dead. Red Dead's really
And
good.
David Cage.
No, none of
David
that.
Cage.
Not in
Detroit.
this neighborhood.
Let's let Alan start. That's not.
Red Dead. You
Red
liked
Dead.
it.
It's very good.
Cool.
Yeah, that's all I have to say. Really.
Come
haven't played
on,
it.
what's good about it?
Literally everything.
Don't encourage him, Harvard.
There is no part of that game that I would say is average or below average. It is just incredibly good the entire way through, and I cried. It's good. Anyway, I'm aware that people don't want to hear me talk about this game anymore. So, God of War. It's
You
God of
think
War.
conditions so badly. The second you say something you like, everyone else is like, "Shut up, Alan."
Yeah, because I have taste and everyone else doesn't.
Well, no one wants to talk about God of War. Just think about that. It's
God of War's
like,
fantastic. It's one of the greatest games.
no, it's the most flaccid game ever.
Explain to me why.
Because it released in the first half of the year. No one remembers games from the first half of the year. Like Ni no Kuni came out in the first half of the year. That was not up for a
I think
game
that
of
was
the year.
that was honestly more because of Ni no Kuni than the time it released.
Yeah, but I played and finished that game, and if I play and finish a game, that means it's a Game of the Year title. And God of War was nowhere near that. Anyway, so it was in the first half of the year, so everyone's forgotten about it. Secondly, it was like overhyped as a dude bro game with some my boy crap. Thirdly, it's
Why is he from the south?
because he is.
He's in Norse mythology. He's not going my boy.
That would be a great game, though. Just North mythology, except also somehow in the south of North America. I don't know what you call it.
The south.
Horizon.
It's called Horizon Zero Dawn. Oh, that game sucked.
No,
Yeah,
God of War was alright.
It was really good. I don't know why
It's
everyone
fun.
hates it. It's a really very good game.
It was
I
fun.
liked it.
I don't think people hated it, Alan. It did get Game of the Year award with that award thing.
No, so when I say people hated it, I mean like entirely in the GDNet Slack because I just cop shit every time I mention it.
No, you think I hate
They
it,
were-
but I don't hate
Yeah,
it.
I think you
just-
hate it because every time I mention it, you're like, yeah, it's good. And then you move on really fast, which is like the ultimate deflecting. Like, yeah, it's fine.
It's
Okay,
fine.
shut up.
There's nothing wrong with it.
Okay.
Spider-Man deserved Game of the Year.
No, it
over
did
God.
not. That game
Yeah,
is
it did.
just, that game is a sneeze.
It is.
We're
But
meant to be
I
talking about
finished
good
it.
games here.
Hmm.
Not
I like Smash Ultimate.
Good games. Yakuza 6.
Yakuza-
The Zero.
Yes,
No,
it's a better daddy game than God
Kiwami
of
too.
War.
Yakuza 6. It was great.
Yeah.
It was really good.
Well,
Really,
that's
really
good.
good.
Also a Game of the Year award.
I will also say it had probably the best pre-order incentive I've ever seen in my life, where it was just 2 whiskey tumblers and some whiskey stones, and that was
That's
gorgeous.
so great.
Like,
That's
I would-
so
Yeah,
great.
that's a good approach.
Like, I would actually just have that. That's really, really good.
I have that.
Yeah.
I am using that. I am not drinking one out right now because it's like early in the morning. That's a bit weird. But
No.
I've been using
for it.
them. They're great.
Yeah, a little bit disappointed that Yakuza 6 kind of fell off the radar after it released, unfortunately. It's people forget that it released this year.
Well, again, not to bring up
Um,
Red Dead again, but I'm part of a Red Dead shitposting group, and they were making Kiryu cross Arthur memes, and I thought that was really, really cool. So there's a new, hopefully, there's a new market for that.
Yeah,
Hopefully.
it'd be good to see what happens with Yakuza after this, because obviously 6 was the end of
The Smash.
They should move it to
End
the
of the story.
Switch.
So yeah, they've got the remakes coming for
Yeah, they'll
three and
remake
four,
3 and 4.
but- and I know 5's also getting a release on PS4. But yeah, it'd be interesting to see what happens to the franchise after that. Chance for a new start.
Well,
I
because
guess.
the new what's it called? His new game, Dungeon Eyes or something, or Detective Eyes, or
oh, that
the-
looks so good.
it looks
That
really
so good.
yeah, it looks really good. That'll probably be a
And that
Very
studio
cool.
also made the Fist of North Star game.
they did because
Kind of
that game is also really good.
It's really good. Really, really
it's
good.
incredibly Fist of the North Star, which is nice.
Yeah, they did a really good job with it, and I was really impressed with that one, actually.
Yeah,
It's not often, I mean, anime tying games can generally be just for the fans, but I honestly think you don't have to be a fan of Fist of the North Star to enjoy
yeah you just
that
like
game.
punch a dude and his head explodes. It's pretty
Yeah,
cool.
it's great. It's pretty cool. I like that. And what else do I like this year?
Probably some obscure thing.
The stuff more mainstream. I really like Pokemon Let's Go. That was great. That is
Yeah.
great. That's
It's fine.
That should be game of the year.
I did
No.
like it. I stopped playing it, which is a shame, but it was fun while it lasted.
Stardew Valley released this year on the Switch as well. That's the best Nintendo game that Nintendo never made.
Yeah, I only got up to like the where the Safari Park is in Pokemon Go, and I haven't played it since. I sent one to my Pokemon Go game, like the box for the like new like thing which looks like a screw, and because I was in the middle of nowhere, nothing spawned, so I got over it and haven't played it since.
that's
Yeah.
a nice story, Trent.
It's a great story.
Oh my
Did
god.
we play the same Pokemon game?
What is the screw thing? Sorry, no, I need to like go back on. What is the screw thing?
So there's a new Pokemon like for like Gen 7,
Oh,
8,
the nut.
whatever it is.
Oh,
yeah,
I thought you were just talking like about a literal screw.
no, the little
Like you
nut
found
dude.
like a new item that you feed to Pokemon and it's just a screw.
To be fair, if he said the nut, I would have been just as confused.
Yeah.
You said nut.
If you make a box in the Safari Club, then you can like get another mystery box which can go to your Pokemon Go game, and then it spawns around you the nut person. And once you have 50 nut people, you can evolve it into the next level up.
Okay, well, moving on from
Moving
the
on. Civilization 6 on Switch is
Yeah,
my
it's
other
good.
big highlight. It's amazing.
It's very
It's
good.
also $89 in Australia. I was going to buy it the other day because I'm like, oh, maybe it's on sale during the Switch sale. I'm like, oh.
It's
No,
also like
released.
1,000 hours of your life, though. So
Yeah. If any game is worth a full price, even for people who have this obsession with buying stuff on sales and how much games cost.
So the problem is I bought it on full
Civilization
price
is worth it.
on the PC.
Yeah, I've got it on PC as well, and it works pretty dang well.
Yeah, but
Also, the
Obviously,
iPad
it's
version is
portable.
$30.
yeah, but I don't play games on my iPad much anymore. I don't know. I just really like having the Switch version. It's comfortable to play. It's portable.
I like shorts; they're comfy and easy to wear.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
And yeah, it's just my preferred format to play Civ, which is and I'm really happy about it.
yeah. It
Plus,
looks like a good
because of
port.
how the game is like turn-based, you don't have to be sitting at a TV. You could be like, you could be like working on a computer, and then like the Switch will suddenly like progress to the next turn. You know how when you get into like really into the game, and then it's like really slow after a while, and the turns just take forever for like all the AI to complete. Like the Switch will be perfect for that because like it's portable. You can just have it sitting at a desk doing something else. You can be watching TV, and then you'll be like, "Oh, it's my turn now," and do like the 5-second thing or just quick skip because you're lazy, and then suddenly, bam! It's like, you're not wasting your time being bored because like you're watching AI move doing nothing. And
I've already used the Switch version on the train quite a few times. That makes the trip much better. Even I've got a lot of games on my Switch, obviously, but Civilization is right up there with the one I'll probably end up playing the most.
Yeah,
It'll overtake Football Manager finally.
also a good game.
Well, yeah, must be. I have my clock thing tells me that I've spent over 120 hours playing.
It's a
Football
few
Manager.
hours.
That's quite a few hours.
So it's my most played Switch game, and
Why not Mario Odyssey, the greatest game ever released?
I haven't even started that.
Good. Don't.
what?
Bad.
And
Wait,
I've never,
what?
I haven't got off the starting plateau thing for.
That's Breath of the
Legend
Wild.
Zelda.
Yeah,
Um,
Matt hasn't gotten out of the starting. The what is it? What there's like
The
a
Great
starting-
Plateau.
No, in like
Plateau.
honestly, there's like a really like stupid starting.
No,
area
he was
that-
talking about
Yeah,
he's
but
talking
he'd
about
most
the
likely
Wild.
be stuck in that too.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Except you can't be stuck in my Odyssey because it's like you are given progress no matter what you do because it's
It
bad.
plays itself.
Yeah, it does. I'm not mad. It's fine.
This is why I finished the game, so it's a good game. If I finish a game, it's a great game, and I finish Mario Odyssey to the end to the point where there's credits. So that's me finishing the game, even though there's more to do. So that means it's a game of the year contender. That means it's
Trent, I'm going to make a really shit game and then just have it finish in like 2 minutes.
Oh, but actually, have you seen the Joseph Anderson video of Super Mario Odyssey?
I have, and it's like 3 hours of him
Yeah,
just dunking on that
it's
game.
3 hours of your life that you're like, I don't think I need 3 hours of criticism on this game. And when you're done, you'll be like, oh, that was a good 3 hours.
Yeah, watch that. Watch his entire channel if you haven't done it before. Check out Joseph Anderson. He's got some very good commentary, very good criticism. I like him. I like him a lot. Is that all the good of this year? I'm sure there's other
The
stuff.
Game
but-
Pass. Remember, I talked about the Game
No.
Pass in the Met.
No, we're not
section.
talking about Game
And you were just like, you know what? You could save that to the the third last section because it's a good idea. And I'm like, damn it, I will. Because
Okay.
it's a great idea. It's like everyone's rushing for their Netflix of games. Microsoft's done Game Pass, and it actually legitimately works well. Like most of their new releases are on Game Pass. Most of their like collection is on Game Pass. If my friend is like, "Hey Trent, let's play this really shitty game which you don't like," and because it's a massive multiplayer game like Halo, I can be like, "Sure, I can load up Game Pass and get this game, and don't have to purchase this crappy game to play with my friend for like a week." So it's great in that regard, and Matt will be probably like, "Oh, it's devaluing the games industry. You're paying like $100 or whatever the Game Pass is for like too many games. they're all new releases as well, so you're devaluing the games." But where they get their money, what they're banking on, is that you will pay for DLC, and that's what I did with Forza. Forza Horizon was in the Game Pass, and I'm like, you know what? I want all the DLC. So I end up buying the game anyway with all the DLC.
So what you're saying, Trent, is Game Pass is really awesome because it forces the industry into the exploitive microtransactions and other monetization models rather
We
than
were
just
already
providing
at
a
that
premium
point.
game up front. That's what you're saying. Yeah,
Yes.
that's
Yes.
a good thing.
That's
I'm
what I'm
sure.
saying. It's good for the customer, not good for the workers, not good for the people doing 100.
It's not really good for the customer either, Trent, because when DLC happens and loot boxes happen, it's not good for the consumer.
But they already exist, Matt. They're not going away.
Well,
I feel like we've dedicated an entire podcast episode just to being mad at loot boxes at one point this year.
I think I have, yeah. I think I made that call in like halfway through the year when Battlefront 2 was like almost like sued into the sun.
we didn't like loot boxes. We don't
Great
like loot
image.
boxes.
I don't like Gearbox either. We talk about how bad Gearbox is, bad
Yeah.
company. Anyway.
We're at
It's
the
one of
good
the good
section. We
things.
can't go back on our word now.
Alrighty. Well, shall we call it there for the final podcast of the year?
It is.
It's a big one.
We should use some music from Final Fantasy 13.
No.
That got the Xbox re-release.
No, we shouldn't
Game
because
Pass
it's
or
a
something.
bad game.
It has great music, Alan.
Should
It
do
has
something
great music.
that's like a Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, something.
Okay.
No,
I
we
agree.
say,
So there's
we
like a
say
main
Merry Christmas
theme.
and Happy Holidays to everybody. Thank you, everybody, to listening to the podcast over the year. And it's been great making them, and hopefully you've enjoyed them most of the time, some of the time, at least once.
I haven't. Not once. hate
it. And yeah, we're looking forward to coming back next year, bright and early, a couple of weeks in.
Remember to place your bets on DDNet winning Best Publication of the Year in the Australian Game Awards and Sportsbet.
Yeah,
We're not even,
odds
we're
are
not
huge.
even in the finalists. But
Oh, yeah.
No.
somehow
We
take it
still have
out.
better odds than a lot of other sites.
Yeah, no, we've got great odds, especially since we're not in the finals and they are.
Place your bets, ladies and gentlemen.
But yeah, seriously, thanks everybody to listening in over the year, and we're certainly going to come back bigger and stronger next year.
I don't know
And
when, but sometime.
probably 2 or 3 weeks in. We need a break.
Yeah.
It's been like 48 episodes this year. We managed
There's
to
a lot of episodes.
yeah, almost one a
A
week.
lot of fish.
And yeah, let's have some happy Final Fantasy 13 music.
Fantasy 13.
It's good.
Isn't that just Kingdom Hearts?
No.
Kingdom Hearts is bad.
Fuck you.